And that's the crux of the matter, what we wanted to ask you all to consider. One last thing, which I think has been referenced by some other folks, is, you know, can we not look at the law enforcement disparity, which we certainly understand the need to attract and retain qualified law enforcement officers. Can that not be handled as a separate issue? You know, perhaps there needs to be some realignment in their pay, you know, where they are aligned in the pay grade, rather than an across-the-board raise for all county employees, including elected officials. You know, we would just ask that to be considered. Why not give our deputies who risk their lives? And I just think it's common sense. No offense to anybody who works in an office. I work in an office. I would not put my job on the same level as a deputy who risks his life every day. And I think those folks deserve more money. Our bottom line that we're asking is, yes, you all had public hearings. From what we know, most of those were held during the day when working people are at work, and it makes it very hard. And so we would like to ask one of the justices here tonight to make a motion to table this budget, vote to allow further possible discussion, and let the citizens who are obviously very interested and passionate about this issue to really feel that they were heard and ask questions and have a civil dialogue, and for y'all to explain. We're not here to say no on every single project. We're here to say, explain to us why these are being done and why the money is so much, and why not do public safety first if possible. And we would like the option to be heard, understanding that we take full responsibility, that we should have been during the day meetings, but maybe that's something y'all need to take a look at, because that's very hard for people.
Judge, I'd like to make this. I got a few statements I would like to make.
Are y'all through? But
You have my
commitment on Sherry King. If you see her
Sherry
back there,
King? Okay, thank you.
we'll set up a meeting next week, before or after work, during work, whenever y'all want to meet with
We
me.
would appreciate that.
Okay. And thank you for a very nice comment. If y'all got anything else?
Well, we do, depending on your response to our request to table the vote.
I got a few things I'd like to say before we. Well, first of all, I strongly disagree not separating the sheriff out and giving them more, because if you look at the vacancies, it's mainly in the sheriff's department. That's a supply and demand problem. It's my own personal view of it, and that's the reason I was for the 5%. The other thing's been a little bit frustrating. I was given a budget meeting list, and there were about 3-4 o'clock meetings, and then I was given another one that was updated, and there were no 4 o'clock meetings. So I didn't get to go to any. I teach, and I think there's a lot of us on the Quorum Court that have day jobs and can't get off. So I think that was not a good thing to have all of them at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Can't even
I think
meet
we
at
had
the time.
one. We had one at 4 I got to come to, and that's the one where I supported the sheriff in his 5%. I would have had a lot of questions about the $6 million extra money being added. Now, Judge, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought that was taken from the reserve. Was that taken for road and bridge reserve specifically? Was it
Yes,
taken
sir.
from
We-
regular
every year-
reserve?
No, it's for old Bridge. Every year, as I said in that.
Well, I didn't understand that, see, because I wasn't at that meeting.
In that memorandum, I said we set aside some money every year that we can use for special projects, for projects that are wanted, if not, you know, necessity is a definition by who's speaking it. And so there are projects that come up every year that we try to be in position to help make happen. And so over a period of time, those funds build up, and that's all county road and bridge. There's no general fund, not one dime, not one penny, nothing that can be used for any of the things that y'all have talked about on public safety or anything else in a general government sense. They are infrastructure, transportation related only, period.
So I think that was, I mean, in just the past week, we've been volleying back and forth the emails, because I was trying to understand everything that was going on so I could make a good vote. Anyway, I have a couple of motions I'd like to make.
All right,
Couple of motions.
Yeah.
One of them probably won't pass, and one of them maybe will. One of them I would like to table it till December.
yeah,
I can get a second.
motion to table, is there a second?
Okay, there's no second, so I'd like to at least move that we exclude the quorum court members from the across the board race.
There's a second on that?
A second.
Motion been made, seconded, y'all can sit down. I mean,
We had some additional questions about some things in the budget.
I have a motion on the floor right now that deals with the quorum
Quorum
court.
court members.
Could I speak to that motion, Judge?
Yeah, just, if y'all come back up, I'll recognize you back.
Thank you, thanks.
All right.
You
All
know,
right, motion been made, seconded, that the quorum court be excluded.
I figured out today that and first of all, just so y'all know, I represent a district that runs from Maumelle to Macon. And if you're familiar with Pulaski County, you know that's a pretty widespread district. I try to get around it as much as possible. Our annual salary is about $10,500 a year. I figured up with 25,000 constituents, which is the size of a state rep district for us here in Pulaski County as JPs. It's about 40 cents a constituent. I don't begrudge it. I serve. But on a good day, particularly for those of us that represent unincorporated areas, it's a break-even proposition. But even our governor has taken the lead, and even though the state is trying to do a increase this year, salary, the governor said, just for the sake of trying to set a tone here, I'm not going to take it. This is the hardest job that any legislative body, whether it's Congress, whether it's a city council, whether it's a county quorum court, it's the hardest thing we have to do because we get to have a say in what our own salary is. But I think just for the sake of showing that, hey, this isn't for us, we're not doing this for us, we're doing this for primarily the 70% of our general fund budget that goes to the public, not just to the sheriff's office, but to the criminal justice system. I think we would send a strong message to the people. We're not doing this for us. We're doing this for the county employees, and that's the reason for my second.
Okay.
We have motion seconded. Any other comments?